Do you know the best thing you can do when you make a mistake? Don't do it again. I always tell this to my kids when they come and say, "Well, I get it. It was a mistake. That's okay. I heard you. Thank you for recognizing." But I don't have any magic answer, but the following: don't do it again. Obvious. It sounds simple, but what's the opposite? The opposite is to cover it up. Right? They do a mistake, and instead of saying it was a mistake, okay, don't do it again, they go miles on my, like they'll find every excuse and argument to do one thing, cover it up, and it doesn't work. When I read Psalm 51, I feel like that's something that David learned very well. A few weeks ago, if you are at church, I actually preached on part of this. David's confession and how David realized that he had to move forward. Again, if you're with us, you probably remember I told you how David had to rise from the ground and wash himself and anoint himself and wear new clothes and go and worship God. Now, all that happened because of this. I want to read for you. This is again Psalm 51, and this is right when the prophet Nathan comes and rebukes David for a sin that he had committed. And hear the confession of David. He starts with, "Have mercy on me, O God. Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love, according to your great compassion. Blot out my transgressions. Wash away all my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I know and I recognize my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Against you only have I sinned, and done what is evil in your sight. So you are right in the judgment. You are justified when you judge." So much we can talk about this, but there are two things that I want you to recognize or realize. Number one is David recognizes his sin so he can receive forgiveness. And remember when I said, when you make a mistake, what do? Don't do it again. Confess, move forward. So David comes, and the first thing he says is, "According to your great compassion." He recognizes that our God not only has compassion, but he has a great one. That gives me the right, the hope, the humility to say, "Lord, it's me again. And I know you never get tired receiving your child." So he recognizes that he can make this prayer, he can confess because of God's great compassion. And then he says, "I know my transgressions," and I'm not hiding. I'm confessing, I'm realizing, I'm accepting. I know that I have sinned. And the third one, he recognizes that he has sinned against the Lord. You know, when we make mistakes in life against others, what we have to recognize is that first mistake was with God. Something went wrong in our relationship with God that by default became a wrong with someone else. And David says, "I have sinned before anybody else against you. And I recognize that I have sinned against you, you only." Now, when he recognizes, it's time to receive. So he says, "Cleanse me, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow." Recognized? Now it's time to receive. And he does. He receives this forgiveness from God. He moves forward enjoying his anointing, his promises from God, and the same is available to you and me today. So when we make a mistake, the best thing we can do is recognize, receive from God, and don't do it again. Simple, right? So let's do that. God bless you.